Bruce Arians comments on Tom Brady. I feel like there's a developing nastiness here. Like, it was very clear what I heard from Bruce Arians. You tell me, or maybe, according to reports, Bruce Arians seems like, hey, Tom Brady ain't going nowhere. If he's playing football, he's playing for Tampa. Are you surprised at his tone? I mean, it was like some one-liners, but there were some haymakers in there too.
I still think he's coming back, and I just think
to Tampa.
No, he retired from the Bucs. You read the statement carefully. He retired from the Bucs. That's why. Okay. Remember we argued about why he didn't thank everybody?
Listen to Bruce Arians.
Because it wasn't time to thank everybody. Bruce Arians don't call the shots. If Brady come back and he want to go, they gonna find a way to trade him. Because that's what the GOAT want. He's going to San Francisco. Look, man. One of these days you're gonna start listening to me. Since this conversation started, I told you what time it was, and that is that time is not up for Tom Brady as an NFL quarterback. We were at the Super Bowl arguing about whether or not the 49ers would want him if he wanted to come back. And we'll get back to that in a second. In the meantime, hear for yourself Tom Brady on Fred Couples' radio show, not his Let's Go podcast now with Jim Gray. This is Fred Couples' radio show yesterday, giving the latest and greatest evidence that my guy is just taking a vacation right now. This is the off season, but he's ready to play football again. Here's Brady in his own words.
And we're going to end it with Tom just telling, maybe you can tell us where you're going. Is that legal?
I tell you, I wish I had a clear vision of what the future holds. But I think for me, there's a lot of great things ahead and a lot of great opportunities. I know I said right after football season, I was looking forward to spending time with my family, and I've done that the last 5 weeks. And I know there'll be a lot more of that too. So, I like staying busy. That's for sure. I played a little bit of golf, and I'm actually going to see my parents tonight, which will be a real highlight for me on their turf. I'll be sleeping in the same bed I slept at when I was a kid. I don't think my mom knows I'm coming home yet. So it's just between my dad and I is a little bit of a surprise. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to some golf in the next few days and some more family time, and then we'll figure out where we go from there.
Is this
I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you.
Is this a
no, I need you.
So what?
I need you. I just need you to tell me once again why Tom Brady's retired. Like, this ain't that hard. See, Michael, take it from me. I have this habit, and with all due respect, so do you. Sometimes I don't know when to stop. Okay, like I'll talk, and then I should just stop right there, but instead I add something else on, either unnecessarily that makes it too long or that undermines the point. As much as Tom Brady has talked to the media, as much as he's answered questions, Tom Brady, this would be real easy. Hey guys, I'm retired. He doesn't have to say, I wish I knew what my future held. He doesn't have to keep adding fuel to this fire. No, but he's doing it because it's the truth. Dude is trying to see how he dipping his toe in retirement. I've told you a million times. He retired. He's put out that statement because he had to. He retired from the Buccaneers, not professional football. Even if he doesn't come back this year, he's coming back eventually. And more, I'm convinced he is coming back this year. I told you from jump that San Francisco was always a destination. I don't know why you believe San Francisco wouldn't. Oh my God, you said it again. You said it again.
They don't want him.
All right, but just okay. We'll get to. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. What I want from you is to acknowledge that nothing Tom Brady is doing or saying right now is that of an absolutely retired quarterback.
Well, that's true. That's true. I agree with that. But I'll tell you this. And we'll see. I don't know what his angle is. I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know where he's trying to go. I'm going to say this about Tom Brady. I've never said this about him before. Tom Brady is messy. Tom Brady is messy. So You're trying to, and look, you change your mind about retirement, it ain't my life. It ain't my wife. So go ahead and do whatever you want to do. I got no issue with that. People retire on their own terms, and it's not for me to say you should retire or you shouldn't. But if you did this to try to get out of Tampa Bay, that is so lame. Look, it's not, Tom Brady is used to things being on his terms, and when things aren't on his terms, that's when he pouts. So he wanted to leave New England on his own terms. He couldn't.
He pouts.
New England had well, he does. New England, he literally did it during games. We got it on camera. He's sitting there just like yelling at everybody. He's yelling at everybody, yelling at the coaches, yelling at the young receivers.
Maybe he was mad because he was being held back. Maybe he was mad because he was being held back.
Okay, no. He was mad because he wasn't being held there. He wanted to be under contract there. He wanted to end his career there. They didn't want him to. So he got mad.
Well, could have been that.
And he left.
Could have been personnel around him. Could have been a lot of things.
It's a fact.
Whatever
Mike,
it is. All I'm saying is he had the right to pout.
Whatever.
Okay,
I'm telling you what it was.
He had the right to pout. I got you. And he had the right to bitch. He had the right to complain. He had the right to pout. That's all I'm adding to that. I'm adding to your facts with that perspective.
But if they had given him a contract, he'd be in New England. They didn't give him a contract. He's mad at Robert Kraft still for not intervening and giving him the contract. Okay. I'm just spitting facts right now. I'm spitting facts. Okay.
Okay. So what's your point?
In Tampa, so my point is, in Tampa, he's trying to dictate the terms. And here's Michael Smith. Let me get my Michael Smith robe and white wig on. I wish I had your cigar.
You take off the white wig.
You take off the white wig. And your wife's sunglasses. I wish I had it, and I could say, Tom Brady doesn't have leverage right now. Tom Brady doesn't have leverage. He doesn't have leverage. The franchise has all the leverage because, as Michael Smith likes to point out, he's under contract. And until he's not under contract, he's not under contract.
If you were a rapper, your name would be twisted. Leverage. You get stuff twisted. Don't sit up there and act like you gotcha. That ain't the same ballpark. It ain't the same league. It ain't the same sport. I almost let it fly. It ain't even the same sport. Okay, that's a foot massage. Okay, that what you just talked about is a foot massage. That is
he under contract?
Kyler Murray and Tom Brady ain't the same thing.
Right. Tampa is supposed to cower. What's Tampa supposed to do? Hey, Tom wants to play somewhere else.
Since we're reading each other all day to day, here's another thing you do. When you ain't got nothing on one topic, you switch the subject. Right now, we're talking about the fact that Tom Brady is not conducting himself like somebody who is retired.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
That's a difference from yesterday. That's a difference from yesterday and from several days now. Okay, great. So we're making progress here. So we're on the same page. Now,
I said that at the beginning.
As it relates to
I said that. I just said that. I said that like 4 minutes ago.
Right, today. And then you got off into Tom Brady being messy, and he's the same as Kyler Murray under contract.
Because since we agreed, there was nothing else to add there. But I want to go to the next.
Great. Welcome to the party. Okay, good. Took you long enough. Welcome to the party. So now, when it comes to Brady and the Bucs, I don't think he's retiring as a ploy to get out of Tampa. I do think there is some gray here. I think it's a combination of things. I think personally, his wife and kids were actually pulling at him. He was going home to be a family man. I do think that he made a promise. Hey, I'm not going to do this forever. I'm going to give this family what it needs. But that can also be temporary. I think he's dipping his toe in his retirement life. I think he's seeing how it feels. I think he's going into movies and got a fashion line out and doing all these different things to see if they satisfy his competitive juices. Meanwhile, he is fulfilling all the things that he has put off for years when it comes to his kids and his wife, his parents, his loved ones, so on and so forth. Seeing how it feels. It's only March, okay? Seeing how it goes. Do I like this retirement life? Do I not? Hey, you guys good? Is that enough vacation? You got enough of dad? You ready to go back to work? Everybody good? Did I do good? Okay, There's that kind of thing, right? Now, as it relates to the Bucs and the 49ers and leverage, because we talked about a couple things here. Let's talk about the 49ers first and foremost. There is no way in hell. Okay, you mentioned the Patriots. I'll go back to your wheelhouse. You mentioned the Patriots. Let me ask you this. Quick yes or no. Quick yes or no if you don't mind. If you don't mind, because it's for a point I want to make.
I don't mind.
If the Patriots had it to do all over again, knowing what they know now, with hindsight being 2020, and the player that Brady has been the last 2 years, do you think they would do things differently?
No.
Okay. Not the answer I expected.
No.
But okay.
Do I think, now here's my answer. Do I think they should have done things differently? Yes. I think, should they have kept him?
Okay.
Even not knowing what the future was, I thought they should have kept him.
Well, you thought that then?
Knowing what they know now? Yeah, I thought that then. Yes.
Sure.
I always thought.
Yeah.
I thought Tom Brady should play until his arm fell off.
Till he was ready to stop. Yeah, okay. But so from the Patriots' perspective, okay, you think they would still let him go even though he's had 2 MVP seasons and led a team to the Super Bowl? Then that makes them stubborn.
That makes Bill stubborn. Only difference is
exactly.
I think Robert Kraft, knowing what he knows now, Robert Kraft would have swooped in.
Okay.
So Robert Kraft wanted him.
So my point is, so I have no idea why you continue to say that San Francisco's not interested. The greatest quarterback of all time. If there's a chance he wants to come home and play for his boyhood team, you mean to tell me Trey Lance is standing in the way of that? Because you've already gotten Garoppolo up out of there. Have you lost your ever-loving mind? Of course they're interested in him.
I got a franchise to run. I'm supposed to honor the poster on your wall. I'm supposed to be excited that
you're supposed to honor the MVP runner-up. You're supposed to honor the MVP runner-up and the great.
And he's 45.
So what? You're 52. What does that have to do with anything?
What does it have to do with anything? God. I'm trying to run that at 52
Your judgment
and at 55 and at 60 and at 65, I've got the ability to do this job at a very high level. But a 45-year-old quarterback, when I just traded 3 draft picks, I know it doesn't matter to you. I know it doesn't matter, but I just traded 3 first-round picks for a quarterback who's my future. I'm not giving it to the old man. I'm sorry. No, he's my quarterback.
Then that makes you an idiot. I love you, but that makes you an idiot.
Whatever.
You are standing on the table for Trey freaking Lance. If Tom Brady wants to play for you,
Tom Brady, how long is it going to last?
Oh my God.
Is he going to?
I don't know. I don't know.
People who just thinks.
I don't know. You sound like you want it to end. He just had an MVP runner-up season. I don't care what his birth certificate says. I care what his stats say. I care what his performance says.
You have to.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Because you know what you end up with? You end up with Cam Newton and Jared Stidham.
He didn't.
That's what you. Yes, he did.
That's the Patriots.
How did he?
Okay, he didn't do.
Yes, exactly. Because they thought he was done. He didn't?
Well,
what I missed?
He exposed their mistake. He exposed their foolishness.
He didn't defeat Father Time?
He didn't, because none of us will. At some point, your birth certificate does matter in football.
At some point.
Tom Brady is not the exception. Tom Brady is not the exception.
Have we gotten to that point?
At some point. And I don't know. I don't know if we gotten to that point. I do know this. If you expect to drive to the Super Bowl in the same division, by the way, Michael Smith, for the team that you have celebrated all year long, same division as the Super Bowl champs, if you expect to get a 45-year-old quarterback and that's the key to go to the Super Bowl, beating the Rams and everybody else, I think that is a risky proposition. I'll say it that way. That's an understatement. It's a risky proposition.
Let me ask you a question. Are you being contrarian right now? Because you've admitted that there are times you just take a contrarian position just to have fun with me.
No.
Are you sincere in this take right now? Do you believe what you're saying?
I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed. Yeah, I do. I'm annoyed by a couple of things. I'm annoyed that it just seems like you're saying, and if you're not saying it, if you're not going in this direction, just come back and tell me that the addition of Tom Brady is like a golden pass to the Super Bowl. I just reject that, and I know Bruce Arians said that.
Okay, well let's do the math.
A couple of days ago.
Let's do the math. He went to Tampa. They won the Super Bowl. This year,
in year one.
In year one.
Right.
This year, they lost in a divisional game to the Rams after a furious comeback thanks to an ill-timed Todd Bowles blitz that allowed Cooper Kupp to run past. Well, okay, fine, but they lost. But I'm saying, okay, in order to get to the Super Bowl, you first have to get to the playoffs, which the Niners are very familiar with. So let's do the math.
Right.
Super Bowl divisional round in 2 years. Okay? and an MVP runner-up season this past year. Meanwhile, in San Francisco, we just went around in circles talking about their quarterback position and how Jimmy Garoppolo is holding them back, and it's time to move on for Jimmy Garoppolo. They think they have a Super Bowl-ready roster. Oh, why would they think such a thing? Maybe because 2 years ago they were in the Super Bowl, or 3 years ago they were in the Super Bowl, and last year they were in the NFC Championship game with Jimmy Garoppolo. So, San Francisco, Tom Brady, yeah, you're a contender. That's not calculus.
Tom Brady. It's not that simple with Tom Brady. You bring Tom Brady on your roster. Okay, so that's the field part. No, you're not listening. You're not listening. You've already made up your mind.
I'm listening and I'm hearing you. And you're not making any sense.
No, because you're not. I haven't even made my point yet about Brady.
Every point you've made so far about Brady has been okay. But go ahead, make the next one, sir. Keep trying. Go ahead.
Well, I hope I can get to your level by 5 o'clock. I hope so, or by the end of the year. By the end of the year, I hope I can just reach that incredible. I hope I can reach that mountaintop.
Keep trying. You have high hopes.
All right, but but I would say with Brady, it's not as simple as, hey, we'll bring Brady onto the roster and everything is going. Brady, as I said to you earlier, he needs everything on his terms. So when you bring Tom Brady, you're bringing the entourage, you're bringing his offense, his way of doing things. You've got to adapt to him. He's not going to adapt to
Bruce
you.
Arians.
We saw it last year. Tampa found that out in the beginning of the year. They weren't adapting to him. Then he took over, and they won a championship. In year one, it was great. In year one, it was a championship. In year two, they got on everybody's nerves because a guy like that,
still won.
He'll get on your nerves though. He'll get on your nerves. You'll win championships, maybe, but he'll push you.
It's kind of like working with me. I'm gonna get on your nerves, but I'm gonna make you better. I get it. I totally understand how that works. I get it.
I'm trying to see.
I completely understand.
I see your wedding picture on the shelf. I don't see a Lombardi.
So what I'm saying to you is, all right. So just to wade through all your stuff, to hone in on your central thesis. It's two things for you.
God, thank you.
It's two things to you.
It was one. I just heard a sermon on binding things up. I just bound up a phrase that you were about to get. Thank you, Lord, for my tongue.
No, say it. Say it.
I'm not going to say it.
No, I'm not. Cuss?
No, I'm not. Because I just prayed about it. I just prayed about it this morning.
Say the clean version.
I'm not going to let you do it.
Say the clean. No, give me the clean version. No? Okay. No. I can take it. I'm a big boy.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Okay, listen. Okay.
I know you
That's
can.
fine.
I know you can.
But I'm above it. So just so I recap your take. I can't believe I'm actually arguing, okay? But there's a line about this. I can't believe I'm arguing your take on this. So you're saying, one, because they traded up to get Trey Lance, that they shouldn't be interested in Tom Brady. Hypothetical, by the way. It's a huge hypothetical.
Yes.
Let's have fun. Let's keep having fun.
Yes.
That's number one. And number two.
They've invested in number two. He's their franchise. They have a franchise quarterback already. They've made their decision. They've invested in a franchise quarterback. Okay, so let me just see. Let me see. So it's only San Francisco. So if you have a young quarterback,
is it where he was traded, or where he was drafted, or the number of picks they gave up? What is it?
It's a franchise vision.
Right.
What is it that
makes Trey Lance a franchise quarterback? Where he was drafted, or how many picks they gave up? Which one?
Their decision. Their thought. Okay. They've made him a franchise quarterback. I don't know if he can play. I don't know if he'll be half the quarterback of Tom Brady.
Can we stop right there? Okay, can we stop? Please, can we stop right there? Can we please stop right there? Please. That's it. That's it right there. That's it. That's the point. Because by your rationale,
that's my point.
By your rationale, right.
But I'm not San Francisco. I'm not them. I didn't trade for him.
But here's what I assure you. That's what John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan would think. If you ask them, deep down in place, they don't talk about their parties. Much as they love Trey Lance, love them enough to trade up to number 3 to get him, they got the opportunity to get Tom Brady, they would get Tom Brady. Because they don't know if Trey Lance can play yet. They don't know. That's the point. By that rationale, the Miami Dolphins, because they drafted Tua Tagovailoa 5th, just as a for instance, should be all set because they drafted him 5th overall. So that's their franchise quarterback. Come on, Michael. That's not how this works. Brady is a proven commodity. I don't care if history does not have a list of 45-year-old quarterbacks. Don't tell me about no goddamn Cliff. Okay, you don't know when Brady's going to stop being good. Right now, he's
don't assign that to me.
You didn't use that word, but you said we don't know. You said he's 45 years old. You brought up his age.
It's a factor.
So, okay,
it's a factor.
I'm inferring from that you think,
including Tom Brady.
It doesn't happen.
There's only one.
Don't tell me about what could happen. Don't tell me about what will happen.
Okay.
It hasn't happened.
Okay.
So I'm inferring that you're saying it's inevitable for a 45-year-old quarterback to fall off his level of play, his perch. Let's call it that. Okay.
Well, his play has.
Okay.
Hey, he's not playing the same as no matter how many people say it. Okay, he's not playing the same. He doesn't have the same skill level. He has his mental game is better. He didn't have the same skill level that he had at 28 years old. Even though people say, "Oh, I can't see a difference." Sure, they can. His arm strength is not the same as it was when he was 28 or when he was 31. It's not, Michael. And if you can't see that, I'm sorry that you can't see it. But I know that to be true. I know that I know that I know.
Just because you say it? Just because you yell it?
No.
That don't make it true.
No, because I've seen it, because I've studied. I've seen the man's whole career.
We've all watched his whole career. Hey, bro, you ain't got the market corner on the Patriots. We've all watched him. Everybody's watched all 7,000 of his throws.
No, you haven't.
Oh, I have.
You haven't watched it.
I have too. You have and I have. Okay,
so
I've watched it too.
If you think he's the same quarterback, if you think he's the same at 45.
In many respects, he's better.
Okay.
In many respects, he's better.
But this is why you're also guilty of not listening, guilty of the same thing that you've accused me of. You said that's the point with Tom Brady, that he's a great quarterback and we don't know if Trey Lance can play, and that's what John Lynch would think. That's part of it. But as I said 3 or 4 minutes ago, that's only part of the Tom Brady story. The other part of the Tom Brady story.
Oh, I didn't even get to that point. I didn't even get to that.
Is how he
that was flawed too.
Over the
what? Only if you're an egomaniac is that problematic for you.
It's not an egomaniac.
Only if you're an egomaniac.
No.
If you're because you're Kyle Shanahan, you're saying, I'm not going to adjust my system to accommodate Tom Brady. Then you're the problem.
I reject that whole.
Bruce,
I'm not the problem.
So you think Bruce Arians did the right thing last year? Why would you not acquiesce to Tom Brady? If that's what Tom Brady needs to be successful, and on the other side of it is a Super Bowl, you're telling me that's a deterrent to adding Tom Brady? I didn't even get to that.
Because it's a team, and you can't just sit there and say, I'm going to do everything one person does. It's a franchise. They got a franchise to operate. And so you are so on the Brady program that you think anything that he would suggest or anything that he brings in. Okay.
Why would I be on the Brady? I mean, he's only the greatest quarterback of all time. MVP
I know he's the greatest quarterback.
And you got Jimmy Garoppolo.
He's the greatest player of all time. But there are boundaries, even for greats. There are boundaries. There are things that if you want to run a functional franchise, you can't just say I'll settle for anything.
Functional
you can
franchise.
do whatever you
and
want.
by functional, you mean what? You mean a contending franchise?
A championship franchise. And I know they haven't won the championships in the last 3 years.
And the one that he just won a year ago, and they were in the playoffs and for okay. All right. Last point on this, whatever you want to call this, was whether or not the Bucs. Oh, okay. Not last point, but last subject, last subhead or whatever, last subplot was whether or not the Bucs, if this is a ploy by Tom Brady to eventually get somewhere else, like a San Francisco, whether or not the Bucs would accommodate him. Now, Bruce Arians already said it's bad business. It would take 5 first-round picks to get him up out of there. The difference for me is that if Brady comes back, if he slow plays this, and he comes back after vacation, after the summer, and decides in the offseason, you know what, I think I want to keep playing. If you're Tampa Bay and he says, I want to be traded, yeah, they can squat on him, but is that the right thing to do by him, given what he's done? Now, sentiment is not the same as business. I recognize that, Michael. And the Bucs could be within their rights to say, no, we're not going to trade you. Cap-wise, I don't know how that would affect them. But they're moving on right now. If he decides to come back, I could see it being very similar, Michael, to Brett Favre in Green Bay. After a while, Mike McCarthy and Ted Thompson at the time were like, enough's enough. We've moved on. Brett wanted to play. They didn't trade him where he wanted to go, but they did trade him to the Jets, and then he ended up in Minnesota. Maybe the Bucs don't trade him to San Francisco, and maybe it's all a moot point. But I do think he has leverage as the greatest quarterback who has given you 2 great years. If he decides to come back and says, I want to continue my career back home, I do think the Bucs, within reason, would be more willing to accommodate him than some other contractual standoffs that we've debated. Does that make sense?
Screw that. It makes sense. Screw that.
Okay.
No, I'm not doing that. You didn't sign up for 2 great years. You had this whole drama of a retirement being announced, you coming out and saying, "Oh, I haven't made any decisions," on your podcast, on your Milk Toast podcast with Jim Gray. I haven't made any decisions. Then the next day, it was. I mean, like,
that episode. Okay, I thought you meant in general. I'm like, damn, dog.
No. I'm saying on that one, and that the whole point of having a platform is you got news, you got something to say, announce it. He doesn't. Then he comes out and says his football journey is over, and now he wants us to. This is all within a couple of months, and I'm Tampa Bay, and I'm trying to build a franchise or maintain a standard, and I'm supposed to accommodate you because you want to go back home, and just relive some memories from the early '80s. No.
Well, let you tell it he's difficult. He has to have things his way, so maybe it's not.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not going to give them to you, and I'm going to mess with you, and I'm not going to give it to you your way. Yeah, you know what? You've been a parent for many years. Yeah, I'm not going to let you have your way, because I'm doing what's best for us, not what's best for you, and that's why you've got to think about Tom Brady coming into your franchise. You got to do what's best for us, and
if somebody came down from another planet, they would swear we weren't friends after the last 20 minutes. They'd be like, do they not like each other?
Well. Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.